Hello, Fiverr fam. This is Nazarac, and on the far right, you have
EODJinx. How we all doing today?
Doing well, and today we have a special guest, Mr. BitDynasty, joining us from all the way across the Atlantic. And I have to say, major thanks for joining us today. It's an honor. How are you?
Oh, no. Yeah, good. No, thanks for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to work together with my fellow holotable heroes in the community.
It's kind of an interesting story. It started out by just kind of watching your videos. It seemed like anytime I was running into an issue, and not just me, I know some of the other guildmates were doing that on various aspects, your videos tend to float it to the top of every one of the queries that we were having. So I decided I was going to jump in and send an email saying, hey, thanks for that. And I ran across your Discord channel. And from there, I reached out to you, and I was amazed that you reached back. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, not a problem. I mean, I'm always happy to respond to anybody that kind of reaches out to me. I have various people, coming through Discord asking me stuff because, I'm not Arnold, so I don't have 5 billion subscribers like he does. So I can still afford to reply, I'm a small fish still, so I still have time to reply to those few people that reach out to me. And at the end of the day, that's what makes this game so great for everybody. It's the community, right? Working together, solving problems and things like that CG throws at us.
I think we're about 10 or 20 shy of 1 million viewers ourselves here, or maybe 999,000. It's probably more than that, actually.
Yeah, in the Arnold math of viewers.
So how long have you been playing? Since the start, or when did you start playing Star Wars?
Yeah, I think almost from the start. I started in December 2015, and I think game launched in October, or November, right? So
sounds right.
Almost,
November.
Yeah. I started in December, my main account 2015, and then I started the second account in July 2016, something like that, yeah.
Okay. So roughly on your main account, what's your galactic power?
Yeah, basically both accounts are the same, 7.1, 7.2 mil GP.
Okay.
Because to be honest, first year I didn't really know what I was doing because I was just in some totally not helpful guild. But then after a year when I switched guilds, because that one the leader just disappeared, so we couldn't do raids anymore. I joined a guild where there were some people that little bit understand better about the game, how everything works. They told me about how to get into arena shards so you can get more crystals in. So probably about after a year I started a little bit getting into, maybe after 2 years I really started becoming top of the arenas and things like that. Yeah, that's how I started really. But both accounts are basically pretty much the same now.
My GP is right around the 5.8 million range. Where's yours, EOD?
That's pretty good.
I'm about 100,000 short of 6.
So you're a step or two ahead of me, and you're about ready to finish off your SEP, right?
Yeah, we're doing the ultimate stuff right now. Those stupid ticket stuff, slowing me down for those tokens.
How many Galactic Legends do you have right now?
Yeah, I'm just in both accounts. I'm now I got the last one, the 4th one. So in my main account, I'm doing Sith Eternal, and in my in the other one, Jedi Master Luke, I'm just halfway through unlocking Ultimate. So I'm just finishing that off. Yeah.
What I find very helpful on your videos is, even though you have them, you spend a lot of time making your videos for people like me that don't quite have a Galactic Legend.
Yeah, because I feel like, whoever has especially if you have multiple Galactic Legends, I feel like those people probably don't need help. It's more like people that don't have everything, they might struggle with certain challenges. I try to do my best, to find most accessible teams, but sometimes you just have to use a Moff Gideon or a Jedi Knight Luke that's maybe, it's not a Galactic Legend, but it's either a new character or, a journey character. I try to do my best. I'm not having high hopes for Sector 5 of the Conquest. I'm surprised I managed even Sector 3 and 4 without Galactic Legends. I'm surprised, Sector 5, I'll do my best, but I don't know, we'll see.
I'm just trying to get through the boss on Sector 5. I mean, that's the road stop for me right now.
So what did you try? I mean, I didn't get to it, so I don't know how hard it is actually.
My stamina is so low, I can't really tell you exactly what my shortcoming is. I burned some crystals to get to that point, and I kind of shut it off last night. I tried again this morning at my arena squad with Jedi Knight Luke, Gas, Jedi Knight Revan, Hermit Yoda, and Kenobi. I got burned pretty quickly. So
yeah, because they're not just relegate, right? They get some extra bonuses, don't they, as well?
Right. If you want, I can read.
Because I know in Sector 4, Rey, she was so fast, she got 2 lifebloods out before I even got a turn. So
exactly,
the speed on these guys is insane. It's not like what you have in your roster, I think.
Great, that's not gonna go over well.
And that's even like, in Sector 4, I had Leader's Resolve on that adds like, what, 24% speed or something.
Yes,
so my
crazy,
throne would be something at, I don't know, 360 speed or something. On Vader with his bonuses, probably at 400 speed. And still, Rey got 2 lifebloods out of it. And even the other characters, if I wouldn't have weapon tech on Vader, like Rey, BB-8, Finn, they would all go before without weapon tech on Vader.
What color is your leader?
Speed.
What color is your leader's resolve? Is it blue, green, or gray?
I have 2 green ones and 1 blue one. I just had, there you go, you can see it. I have a blue one equipped in the B-roll footage yet. I think it's 24% speed.
Yeah, I think I got the blue one equipped on mine as well. And then I'm just now into Sector 4, so I'm trying that right now. After the video I saw last night from Arnold, the developers messed up when they put in the currency count for the cat shards.
Oh,
so
yeah, they messed up, yeah.
it was supposed to be like 105 instead of 110, so that it was mathematically doable if you didn't use your mods. So they're going to give us 5 extra ones this time.
Yeah, I saw that on the forum, yeah, the announcement. Yeah.
Remember when I told you on that last video there was going to be mana from heaven? Well, that's where it came from.
Oh yeah, definitely. So now it's just for me, I got to get through 4 and get as many feats done so that I can try to get that max crate without needing to get into Sector 5.
So the modifier that Supreme Leader Kylo Ren has at the end of Sector 5 is called the Greater Good. And what that gives is if the boss has no marked allies at the start of their turn, they randomly mark one of their allies for 3 turns. If that unit dies while they have this mark, the boss gains that unit's health, protection, speed, and offense. So Supreme Kylo Ren to begin with, and then anytime you take anything else out that's been marked, that's just going to make him that much bigger.
The only thing is, if you do have Galactic Legend Rey, I guess you can probably survive the initial onslaught and everything, but without Rey, it might be a struggle.
I know I'm not going to be able to get the max gearbox this time. When they said they were going to take out those 3 data discs, I knew this was going to be a completely different animal when we walked in, and I was going to be really struggling to just get through all of the sectors because of the fact that we don't have those infinite loops, that we don't have those squads where like Darth Vader, Yoda, where you can get your first turn, it's over with.
Yeah.
But that's not the case now. But the teams that I have, I mean, a lot of them are Relic 7, except for maybe 1 or 2 characters, and I've been struggling on them. I can tell you here what I have for inventory. So I start out with a blue vitality, so that gives me 44 max health, 35 max protection.
Oh, that's a good one.
A blue caustic emission, so 2 damage over time plus burning at the start of their turn, and that can't be resisted. Ruthless debilitation, when the enemy falls below 100 health, they're inflicted with healing immunity and 2 stacks of armor shred, which has been my savior for a lot of battles, just because if I can get them under 100, they're down on their back leg and I can get them. A lot of times
never thought that one could actually be useful.
Just that healing immunity, then once they're down there, it seems to keep them down.
Sounds like that one and caustic emissions would actually be really good together.
Yeah, so like the Ewok squad, they end up burning themselves out because they just keep running and putting more DOTs on themselves. They get under 100 and then it really adds in. And I have 2 of the...
That sounds like an old Republic team with Zalbar going mission, just throwing those DOTs out there.
Don't get me an old Republic. This is the worst team now in Conquest. Because Kendra is just going and going and going. You never get a turn.
Super fast.
Yes.
Once he gets his turn, you never get a turn. Like my Jedi Master Luke was just standing there with 200 dots on him until he finally Kendra's killed him. I didn't get a turn. It's crazy. From now here on out, I'm just sending my
lightsaber Luke.
Yeah.
I'm just sending my Kylo.
Luke.
I'm just sending my Kylo against that dude now. I mean, it's crazy.
Then I have 2 blue entrenched, so each of them gives me 75 protection up, which is nice to start out with to get through that first onslaught. A blue leader's resolve, so that gives me 82 max health, 65 max protection, 49 offense, and 24% speed. I've got a gray heal over time, a couple more buffs, and then I finish off with green offensive buffs, so offense up, critical damage up, critical chance up for 1 turn. And I tried putting the offensive buffs with the heal over time, and I have the Dismantler, which is supposed to give you the stacks.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem to really pay off. I don't know if it's previously with the Infinite Loop was really powerful because that kept stacking up quickly, or I might be misreading it because it says 30%.
I think when it's a 30% chance on, isn't it?
When you receive a buff, you have a 30% chance to dispel all debuffs on themselves and gain 15% mastery. So does that mean 30% chance on both the dispel and the 15% mastery, or is it only 30% chance on the dispel, but you always get the 15% mastery?
I I would think it's 30% on both of them, right?
That's kind
Otherwise, that would just be like OP, right?
Yeah, that would make sense to me.
but it's 15% mastery, right? It's not over the top. I mean, 15% of mastery, it's going to take you a while to build up. When you had the infinite loop, it was just like that. You could get it instantly, where here, 15% mastery, even if you got 10 of them, that's 150%. It's going to take a lot of them to build up.
Yeah, but imagine Vader taking, in his Merciless, he takes like what, 6-7 turns in a row, and for each of those turns he's getting 100% mastery, whatever.
Okay.
By the time he ends his Merciless, you know what his damage will be, you know, probably.
Which would be enough to take out a Ray.
Yeah, I mean in Sector 5 I did it. I put this in Sector 4 versus Ray. That's what I did. I just put the stacking offense one, so every time you gain a buff you get 5% stacking offense. And then I think I have offensive and defensive buffs and heal over time. So every time Vader gets a turn, he gets 6 buffs, so he gets 30% offense. And for this Merciless, you get about like what, 6 turns, 7 turns in a row or something like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So by the time he's done, his offense is very high already. I was able to, you know, call Blade before she even call Ray before she even got a chance to go into her ultimate. A crate.
That's fast.
You have to hit crate as well. I found out when you're in Merciless, crate counts as the enemy.
And also the crate seems to have some type of connection with
Here's the
Anakin.
dot.
Well, if you hit the crate, Anakin will turn around and attack. So you have to put that into factor. So
I did notice that.
how far have you gotten into the conquest there?
I'm in just starting Sector 4.
Just starting Sector 4. Yeah, with you having more GP than me, I was kind of surprised you didn't jump into it sooner, but you're moving right along.
I might have more GP, you have more relic characters. I have a larger roster. You've got a focused roster.
You have a much larger fleet as well, right? That adds to
Oh
it.
yeah, my fleet's pretty stout. The only thing I haven't unlocked is like the Razor Crest and Holdo.
So have you put much effort into your fleet, Mr. BitDynasty?
No, I mean, I've got all the ships and everything, right? And because of all the Galactic Legends, obviously, you know, I do have Resistance fleet, I have First Order fleet. The ones I don't have developed is Rebels. I just never got onto the Rebels, really. My Akbar's Gear 11, you know, stuff like that. So that's the only probably fleet that I don't have developed and I don't really use much. But everybody else I'm using, you know, especially on JC where you've got 2 fleets on defense, I'm pretty much making use of everybody.
Do you feel pretty confident that you're going to get through max gearbox on the conquest? How are you feeling?
Yeah,
on
I
that?
mean, max rewards, I'll get them. That's not a problem because, you know, until now, all 4 sector bosses, I maxed out all the feats. And then even if in Sector 5, you know, I can't get all the feats done, you know, there is a bit of wiggle room, right?
Right.
You don't need like all the feats done, right? You can probably skip 2 or 3 feats and you can still get max rewards. So I'm pretty confident I should be able to get it.
We were talking at one point about conquests, just all the different data disks that you end up stockpiling that aren't useful. What would you think that would be a useful game mechanic that maybe CG could implement with those types of disks?
I mean, yeah, I remember we had discussion, like your suggestion was kind of great, right? Like you could either sell them to get some credits back now that they're charging us for unequipping, or maybe they could create some sort of, you know, slicing mechanic where, you know, you have 2 gray ones, you slice them. If they're the same type and you get a green one, maybe, I don't know.
I like that idea.
We'll see. But I mean, the most probably what would need to be looked at first is just how random these discs are for everybody. Because obviously I'm creating these guides, how I'm completing all these fights, but for every video there are 2-3 people that say, well, that's great, but I didn't get those discs, right? So it's, you know, finding some sort of way of how to balance out more. Obviously it has to be random, right? It can't be the same, but at least that I remember in one of my accounts I got booming voice, which is great, but the other ones I haven't seen it already for the past 3 conquests. So just find some way to kind of balance out the randomness of these more powerful ones. Maybe after, you know, in the node after you defeat the boss, where you've got all the purple ones, all of them, and you just choose one. Why does it need to be random? Like after you defeat a boss, you feel like, give me something good purple, right? You don't want to see some grays and greens after you know, put all the hard work in defeating the boss.
Or maybe they could give you one item that says pick one of your data disks and increase it by 1.
Yeah, that as well. But obviously don't increase how many slots it takes.
Yes. Or else maybe they could go about and put something like a consumable out there that says take 2 grays and combine them, or 2 of the same. They have an icon on them, so maybe we could say that's a family. Take 2 of the same family and combine them, or 2 of the same discs and combine them. I'm trying to find, I don't see the consumables being a big factor in Conquest as of yet, but maybe
They're
after.
gonna keep trying to hold on to that currency.
It's like there's no way I'm
They're gonna-
spending currency. There's no way I'm spending currency on consumables. Basically, if you want to get max shards of Ahsoka, right, you cannot spend a single credit unless you have stockpiled up from before. And not to mention now we can't even buy Razor Crest for the next 3 months, right? So
Right.
that'll be on hold. I mean, you get some in the reward box, but in the scavenger shipments, right?
People want to whale. People want to try to be the first to get those things at max. And then I think there will be a data dump here soon, data mine rather, where we find a pack that's got Razor Crest. I think it'll be in 3 months. You'll be able to whale on that.
I think they mentioned that these eventually will become farmable, right? These characters in the Conquest,
Right.
if I remember correctly.
Right after 6 months.
So it's kind of like a marquee after, marquee after 3-4 months they become farmable or something. So
Yeah.
maybe these ones will be 6, a little bit more exclusive, but
So with Cat being 90 shards, do you think that they're going to keep it that way? I mean, for farmable, or is this kind of like one of those accelerated because they're planning on getting to the Galactic Legend Kenobi?
the thing should be requirement for Kenobi.
But right now they're dumping 90 if you get a max gearbox. Is that
Right.
going
So
to be
what
always
they're-
90?
Well, for Kat, I do believe it was because she was a 7-star unlock. So they wanted to make her available at the 3-month mark.
Right.
So in order to do that, they had to make it 90. Whereas like Razor Crest was a 5-star unlock. So they had that at a discounted number to make it so that within 3 you could get it. I think that's what it'll be. They'll set it so that at every 3-month mark, when they go to put in the new character, because they've already said they're going to put in a new character every 3 months.
Right, it's CG, everything's subject to change, right?
Absolutely. Just like Heinze says all the time.
So are you a big fan of the Clone Wars?
Yeah, I mean, I watched all the seasons, all 7. Also watching Bad Batch now. Yeah, I mean, for all those 7 seasons, there were probably some episodes less interesting, but there was definitely some very good episodes in there. I think my favorite ones were where they kind of followed Yoda when he went on his little soul-searching trip. I enjoyed that one.
Yes, that was a good section in season 6.
Yeah, and then the also season 7, not beginning so much, but last few episodes, they were very good in season.
The
7.
last arc with Kat with Commander Ahsoka,
Yeah.
the Siege on Mandalore.
Yeah, and then seeing that moment with Order 66, Rex, struggling and things like that, it was definitely very like emotional. You could say that part.
Oh, absolutely! It's nice to see him in the struggle.
Yeah.
Like he had a feeling about the inhibitor chip and then was fighting everything instead of just letting it take over, and that was a beautiful moment.
Because I remember there was a couple of episodes. Was it from 5s that they removed the chip? Or one of the
no,
clones?
They didn't get the chip out of 5s. They got that there was another clone trooper and he snapped, and all he kept saying was "good soldiers follow orders," and he shot his Jedi general, and then they took him back to Camino, and 5s found the chip.
Okay, I remember something with 5s, yeah.
Yeah, and 5s was trying to warn all of them and tried to warn Rex and Anakin, and the shock troopers shot him before he got to get them to actually understand.
Because I remember there was a couple of episodes in earlier seasons about these chips, yeah.
Yeah, that's what brought Shot T back to the capital.
So with following the lore of Clone Wars, when they go and put out a rival for Grandmaster Kenobi, I'm going to assume it's a dark side. What would your guess be for what it would be for Galactic Legend?
I don't know. I was always saying next Galactic Legends is Ahsoka and Maul, but they did go with Kenobi. But maybe because they won't be releasing them as a pair, right? It won't be like the next dark side that it's necessarily totally Nemesis from Kenobi, right? Now it can be anybody because they're not released in pairs anymore. So it could be anybody. I mean, I'm hoping it's Maul from season 7, right? Because that would be
Metal
really
Legs
cool.
Maul.
Yeah, because to be honest, I don't really see, a lot of, some people are saying Fallen Anakin, but I don't see that really as a character, if I'm honest, because I don't know, because it's such a short time, right? That he
Lord Vader without the outfit.
Right.
Because even I know once one of the developers on forums, when somebody asked about this, they said once Anakin falls, he becomes Darth Vader. So it was kind of a reply like,
So it's more of a timeline point than an actual character.
For me personally, because it's not really like I mean, obviously movie time is not like you could say real time, but it's not really like something that you can define, okay, this is Anakin that's fallen, right? But it was kind of like it just happened so quickly, so instantly, and then suddenly he's chopped in half, right?
Yeah, he lost the high ground.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see as a galactic legend?
Definitely, as I said, for me, it's always been Maul. I was hoping Ahsoka and Maul because I was thinking in pairs, but if they're not doing them in pairs, they could still do Maul. And remember, he wouldn't be Sith, right? And we already have a Sith. At that point, he was a scoundrel. So, I think that would be a good addition.
That would be a wonderful scoundrel addition. Yeah. And then instead of getting Boba, we'd got Maul.
Yeah. Because again, is Boba legend? Maybe Boba will be legendary, but he could be bounty hunter. But he's not bounty hunter at that point anymore, I guess.
Could it fit with like a Mando tag? Because try to get the Mandalorians to actually be worth something. Because they're gonna have that series out, the Book of Boba at some point.
I think they said Boba's not Mandalorian though, is it?
No, he's not. Boba's not Mandalorian, and I think Fennec Shan will probably be the next bounty hunter character we get. Because she was in Bad Batch, and she's in Book of Boba, and she was in The Mandalorian.
Because I'm thinking Kenobi, even though he will have Jedi tag, I have a feeling he will have synergies with Galactic Republic. I don't think they want to have us another galactic legend that we use with the Jedi, like that has synergies with Jedi. So I'm thinking that's gonna be sort of like a Galactic Republic. But if you look at that old way of doing in pairs, then we have to have a separatist. Do we have any characters that could be a separatist galactic legend?
I can't see him making Count Dooku or another Geonosian that would be worth it. And they've already put Watt on Kenobi. So what Heinze said was that he's hearing Maul, and he's taking his Maul to 8. I think Maul is really where we're headed.
Because at least it's kind of like, Clone Wars era-ish, kind of.
Right.
And I think that's why they stopped doing them in pairs, because I think they realized it's going to be always a struggle now to find two equal nemesis, right, that are both legendary status. I think that's why they stopped doing them in pairs, because it's going to be hard, right?
Right. Makes sense.
But we'll see.
That'll be a good one, but then now we've got to do things like Savage and Night Sisters are going to need to get ramped up.
Speaking of Night Sisters, we really need another Night Sister so we can finally complete Challenge Tier 3 of the Secrets and Shadows event. We need another Night Sister that can make it possible. I was checking on the forums and people are saying basically it's mathematically impossible. The AoE damage that Sidious is putting out, it's even with maxed out Night Sisters. I haven't heard of anybody completing it.
Why is he such a hard hitter during that event, but not when I've got him?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess because, Night Sisters have this whole thing with revives and everything, so I guess they wanted to, make it more challenging. But I think, with these assault battles, I don't think they're really fine-tuned. It's just probably character in each tier becomes X amount stronger, right? And then it just so happens that here, because of his AoE, right, and the speed as well, it's just not the AoE. He's just taking so many turns, and healing immunity he puts on you as well, and things like that. So, because that's the only challenge tier I wasn't able to complete tier 3, right? And even the challenge tier 2, often I just don't bother, because even tier 2 is an RNG fest already. It's just not worth the rewards.
I'm getting to the point that I'm starting to be able to do the tier 2s with my imps and my Jedi, and I'll be able to do them with my Sith now that I've got Sith Eternal unlocked. So I can get more characters to Relic 5 now. It'll be interesting to see if it moves forward. Try to make these relics 8, 9, or 10, but it'll be interesting to see if they do 9 and 10, and then they give you an ability at 10.
They will.
Even with Relic 8, Night Sisters still don't push tier 3?
I don't know. I did research when we had Relic 7s back then. I didn't find anybody. But I'm sure if somebody would, I'm sure that video would explode right on the community. Yeah.
The Grand Admiral will be the first one.
But again, bringing your Night Sisters to Relic 8 just so that you can complete an assault battle.
Yeah, who's doing that?
Right.
Nobody's going to do that. That's a bad investment, like an expensive prom dress.
Yeah, this is unless you really there are people that are Night Sister fans and they push Night Sisters always to the max. I'm pretty sure there are some people that would do that, but not just for the assault battles.
It's a fun squad to begin with, right? Just to play, so somebody would have
Yeah.
done it just because of the fun factor.
Something like that. I mean, it's one of those that would definitely be a passion project for somebody. Because I mean, that one is also the same one that you can use the Phoenix in. Let's say somebody geared up the Phoenix to take them through. For a while, I was using a Kanan Jarrus on Relic on my Jedi Knight Revan team. I mean, because that was the best that I could come up with because I didn't have a Hoda unlocked. So we'll see what happens. Doing Phoenix also helps with your ships.
That's something to keep looking and see if somebody comes out there. But like you said, if it's mathematically possible, it's something else has to give, something else has to be added to one of those two teams to make it.
Yeah, because like I said, I was checking and there literally somebody said, this, I don't remember the figure, but the damage that he puts out, even you have a maxed out Daka with max health mods, she's not going to have that much health to survive that.
Is there any way of putting like a loop beforehand to get old Daka up with her ability?
No, because she just starts with an AoE. You come in the wave, he just starts with an AoE.
Okay.
And of course, her bonus is reset with every wave, right?
That's what I was going to ask. Does it reset or does it hold? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then,
Both Asajj and Daka, it starts reset with every wave.
yeah, then I don't see it.
That's not good.
No.
No.
Well, I think we hit 5 minutes on our Friday Fiver here, and
We sure did.
Again, Mr. BitDynasty, it's been an honor and a great pleasure. Thank you for joining our channel. Maybe sometime in the future we'll catch up again and do this. And do you want to do the honors, Mr. EOG, here with words of wisdom?
I got you covered. I also want to say thank you to BitDynasty. It's been a pleasure talking with you, sir, and look forward to doing this again. At this time, Friday fam, we'd like y'all to keep your powder dry and stay safe.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. Thank you.